Guys, stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing before you watch this video. I'm talking about Pokemon Sleep Natures today. You gotta know this before you do anything else. Otherwise, you'll make the same mistakes I did. Pokemons all come with natures in this game, you probably noticed by now. And just like the main games, they're quite important. Let me show you what I mean. Here's two Charmanders, level 8 and level 4. The level 8 one, I spent a bit of candy and a bit of stream shards on it to level it up early on in the game. It was my first Charmander, and I thought, what harm could it do? Who doesn't love a good Charmander? Unfortunately, that was a mistake. Now, when I got a second Charmander, then I noticed the differences. So my first Charmander here, called Charmander, has some main skills, sub skills, you know, the standard stuff. But compared to my second Charmander, these skills are a lot worse. So let's have a look here. Even comparing our first level 10 skill, which is an early game skill, you can probably achieve level 10 if you farm enough candies. And candies are very rare to come by. Incidentally, if you need more candies, make a lot of friends. We've got a friend code channel in our Discord, so join our Discord channel. You can just add everyone on the Discord. So, have a look at the level 10 skill here. That's a skill trigger S, meaning this skill, if I have it, increases the chance of my Pokemon's main skill being triggered, which is, this is the main skill. This is my original Charmander, and if you compare it to my second Charmander for the same resources will give me skill trigger M, which is a higher chance of triggering my main skill, which, by the way, my main skill is the same across the two Charmanders that I have. Now here's the problem. So, oh, by the way, the more colors you have in these sub skills usually just means better the skill level, the skill tier. So you can see my original Charmander has not very much, and in my second Charmander, my duplicate Charmander, have much better skills. So I've actually wasted all these candies leveling up my original Charmander when I should be leveling up my second Charmander, my better Charmander. On top of that, and this is the main point today, on top of that, forget about all these skills because I'm still in the early game. Level 25 isn't even achievable for me. Level 100, I'm not even thinking about it. But what's more important than skills in an early game is nature. Down here. Now, as you know, from maybe if you play the core series, a nature usually gives a stat boost to one stat and then nerfs the stat of another stat. Now, according to Cerebi, and I can't confirm this for myself, but I can see it for myself, and I'll show you in a moment. According to the Cerebi.net, each skill is boosted 20%. 20%. That's a much bigger percentage increase than some of these other skills, like ingredient finder is like 7% or something like that. Yeah, like helping speed is 7% faster. These skills are minuscule compared to the boost you get from natures. So I would say natures are more important, especially at an early game where you can only really have one sub skill. Now whether it actually is 20% or not, I can't confirm that for myself, but I will show you something. So this Charmander, my level 8 Charmander here, has a naive nature, which increases experience gain. Not that useful to me, but maybe later in the game it will be useful. But decreases the main skill chance. That's not great, because we want main skills. So main skills like this one here, Ingredient Magnet S, is, you know, it's not bad. I'm always short on ingredients. It's not bad. I wouldn't mind getting more ingredients. So this is not a great Charmander. This is the worst Charmander I could have leveled up. The sub skills suck, and the nature sucks. In comparison, this brave Charmander here, which I've named Jupemander because this is my second one, has an increased speed of help and reduced experience gains. Now, experience is not that important for me early game, like I said, but increases the speed of help. So, for example, ingredients will be collected quicker. Now, you might know by now that the higher the level your Pokemon is, the quicker it collects. The frequency is shorter. The time is shorter. The quicker it collects berries and ingredients. Now, if you look at my level 4 Charmander, it actually has a smaller frequency, so a better frequency than my higher level Charmander by about 10%, about 5 minutes quicker. Even though it's a lower level. By the way, leveling each level only decreases the time by a tiny bit, few seconds at best. Whereas if you look at how many minutes, how much quicker this Charmander collects ingredients by about 5 minutes, that's a much more significant difference. So actually, I should be leveling up this Charmander and not this one. Which brings me to the next point. What do you do with excess Charmanders or excess Pokemons? Well, this is the first time I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be sending Charmander to the Professor, my not as good Charmander, my first Charmander, and see what happens. Oh, I need to remove it from my teams first. Alright, so it's time to say goodbye to this Charmander I've invested some resources in, some Dream Shards and Charmander candies. One of my greatest regrets in this game. And it's time to say goodbye. And I got 5 Charmander candy. You know what? Not the worst. It could have been just a single Charmander candy. So that's not too bad. Alright guys, so just to reiterate the importance of that point is you got to make sure the nature is good before you invest any resources. So speed of help is a decent skill to have. So that's why I've kept this Charmander instead of the other one that I had. Let's take a look at one more example. So this here, I've got 2 Squirtles. Again, one I invested early on. This Squirtle has, you know, some colorful skills here. I've got Dream Shard bonus and also has a lax nature, which increases energy recovery, but decreases main skill chance. Whereas my new Squirtle, some of the skills are decent, but if you look at the nature, ingredient finding goes up. So that's a good thing. I want more ingredients. But ingredient finding up doesn't actually reduce the timer, the frequency. I think that just means that you'll find more ingredients each time, but I'm not 100% certain. So it's a little different to what the skill that the Charmander had, which actually reduces the frequency, the timer that you can actually see. So in this situation, I plan to keep both Squirtles because one Squirtle has a slightly better skill. The other Squirtle has a better nature. But the one I'm going to use is the one with the better nature. So this one, this level 2 Charmander here, that increases ingredient finding. So guys, I've made a chart to help you know what nature boosts and nerfs which skill. So I made this because the chart that I pulled off Cerebi.net, this one here, wasn't as intuitive. I prefer to look at charts like this. In fact, that's what I use in mainline games when I want to find out what natures apply what stats. So I sort of copied the same color schemes as what others have done in the past. So this here, we made this, and you can actually see my little openings tag there, my little watermark. So, but you're welcome to share it. It's not a problem. I've tried to make that subtle so that you can share it. You're welcome to just screenshot it, but it's on my Discord now. You can come to my Discord. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you need a copy of this, you're welcome to use it. So all it is all the stats that are increased. So stat up 20%, as you can see on this side. All the stats that are increased are on the vertical, and all the stats that get decreased on the horizontal. And you can see which nature. So for example, gentle will do what. So in gentle, it would have main skill chance up and energy recovery down. This chart is not that important, not as important as understanding what each of the skill does. But also one thing you should know that there are, just like the main series, 5 natures that don't apply any stat changes. Alright guys, if this video helped you, please leave a like. I'll leave a link in the description below for my Discord channel, and also links to other helpful videos I've made in the past, tutorials and so on. Make sure you don't invest in the wrong Pokemon like I did, but you know, you probably already have, but that's okay. We can start fresh now. You know, once you start to get duplicates, pick the better of the duplicates. You might not be collecting duplicates yet, but that's okay. Let us know how you go. Come chat to us on Discord. I'll leave a link in the description below.